and happy Fast Fact Friday. This is Michelle with Revolutionary Resume. I'm here to provide you with a weekly workforce update, and maybe there'll be some tips and tricks for your career along the way. So thank you for tuning in. Let's get right to the bad news and knock that out first. Layoffs. Sarepta's to lay off about 500. We've also got Lenovo is letting go of about 1,300, about a 3% layoff in their workforce. Intel, 2,400 workers just in Oregon. And Le Bonheur Healthcare, cutting jobs, consolidating obstetric services, all that kind of stuff. So always be aware of those things that are possibly on the radar for layoffs, and maybe avoid applying to those, or make sure you're applying to a division you feel is safe, right? Nothing's ever guaranteed, but it's always good to have more information. Knowledge is power. Let's talk about some more uplifting stuff. What are the fastest growing jobs? There are the 10 highest paying jobs with the lowest risk of being replaced by AI. What we're seeing, and of course you guys have probably all seen it too, and all the reports coming out for roles, is that AI is going to be able to take a lot of busy work or entry-level roles away, which is going to make it harder for folks trying to break into the workforce. And that's where what I talked about last week, where skills-based hiring and obtaining those skills as a potential candidate, an applicant, is so key. Make sure you have the skills, you can speak to the skills, keep everything as up to date as you can, and be in that all the time. That will make you a much stronger candidate for roles. And I will post a link to this article with the highest paying jobs. I didn't mean it just to be a teaser, in the live stream comment section as soon as I'm finished here. So you can get those. Who's hiring? 7 companies are now hiring remote jobs in 2025. I'm also going to include that link below. I know a lot of folks are still wanting to be remote, even though a lot of industries and companies have gone the return to office mandates. We're finding that a hybrid or more flexible schedule is what people want. And employers that do that, as the job market eventually shifts to be more of an employee market versus an employer market that we've had for nearly 3.5 years, you're going to see those companies that do adapt to this really thrive compared to their competitors. So those are the articles I'll be sharing. Let's talk about, we had talked a little bit about skills-based hiring, and I want to talk a little bit more about that. What does that look like? What is going on? All this kind of stuff. And we talked more about it last week, but let's get back to the basics of your job hunt. What I found really, really helped me, and I know a lot of other people that I've talked to since then have done this, is track it in a spreadsheet. That way I'm not applying to the same job twice that just was reposted. Track it in a spreadsheet. That helps keep you on top of follow-ups, thank yous. Keep your resume simple. None of this has to be difficult, though it is time-consuming to muddle through all the rules and really target those things. But keep it simple. Search for the jobs that will make you happy, that have the wages that will allow you to live your life without being concerned about where your next meal is coming from or the roof over your head. Don't make it more complex than it has to be. Make sure you're prepared for those interviews and for those behavioral questions that we've talked about multiple times, and I'll cover that again next week for some of our newer followers. But get back to those basics. Don't make your resume this complex thing that can't even be sorted out by the company's system when it pulls through. Simple is better. If you've ever heard of the KISS rule, it's keep it simple, stupid. I absolutely 200% stand by that. I believe in you. Keep in mind that job market is tough. The average search is 5 to 6 months. So if you have accepted a buyout, you should be looking now, because most of you are going to end before the end of the year. And it is going to take quite a bit of time to find that role. the average time a recruiter or hiring manager views your resume is up to 6 seconds, depending on which survey you read. So let's work to get that to where it's that attention grabber from a potential future employer of yours. And that is really all I have this week. Again, I'll post those links in the comment section of the live stream so you can look at some of the places that are hiring. I'm happy to help you. If you have questions on my services, hit up the page, or my phone number's on there. It's 513-438-0964. And as always, a like, follow, and share is much appreciated. Send me those stars if you can. And take care of yourself and each other. I'll see you next week. Bye.